of LA Late Night. We're going to be discussing your stimulus checks, $300,000 of stimulus checks, 300 different checks, stimulus checks, the reach $1,000 of stimulus checks per month, five stimulus checks on average per month. We're going to go over all that and more in tonight's broadcast. Let me send out a message saying, hey, I am now live. Join me. This is your specialized one-on-one Q&A broadcast. So if you have any questions that you want to send them to me in the live chat. I'll be interacting with you tonight. We have some big economic data that came in today. I will be going over that as well. Who's the first person for me to give a big hello to tonight in the live chat? Let's jump into the breaking news, starting right now. The breaking news starts with the producer price index released earlier today in advance of the CPI, the consumer price index, coming out on Monday. And the producer price index showed that inflation went higher, still went higher. That's why you need to get stimulus checks. You need to get stimulus checks. $300,000 of stimulus checks, 300 different checks, 18 months of stimulus checks, five stimulus checks per month, and on average, $3,000 of stimulus checks is what's being paid out. And you need to get them because even today's data, the economists were surprised by it. Even them were surprised. You should not be because we all know that inflation is still going up month to month. Those incredible stimulus checks were passed by Congress. They're federal stimulus passed by Joe Biden. They're federal stimulus. And you need to pounce. You need to apply to get these incredible stimulus checks. These stimulus checks are for single individuals, 75,000 or less, married couple, 150,000 less. Go get these incredible stimulus checks. Over this broadcast, we'll go over how to get these incredible stimulus checks that have been law since the month of March. We'll go over what the stimulus checks are, and more importantly, we'll go over the importance of getting these stimulus checks really quickly tonight. First, let's go into the breaking news, which is the producer price index, which gauges wholesalers purchasing of goods, that's like supermarkets, was released. On Monday, we get our inflationary benchmark, the consumer price index, the CPI. And the PPI went higher. A year ago this month, in December of 2021, we got our introduction to big inflation. Now, earlier in 2021, I had said that inflation was not going to be temporary. Federal Reserve said it would. And I said, no, it's not. And I said, inflation is going to go to 8% in December. Hey, Ionis, how are you? He's getting my first hello tonight in the live chat. Ionis has joined us in the live chat. If you are in the live chat, jump in and say hello. It's open to everyone, subscribers, non-subscribers. Post your questions. I'll answer them across the board. A year ago, when we were introduced to runaway inflation, as I had predicted, where were those PPI numbers? In December 2021, hey Gail, how you doing? Ionis, doing great. Hey, my friend, LA. Hey, Ionis, and there's Gail. Hey, guys, how you doing? So in December 2021, the producer price index, which gauges wholesalers inflation, came in at 0.3% per month, and on an annualized basis came in at a whopping, I just had it here. Actually, it became in at 1% in December 2021 and came in on an annualized basis 10%. So this is really, really high. This is really, really high a year ago. So from 10% annualized and 1%, where are we tonight? 7.4 and 0.3. So we're not that much to improve. We've gone from 10% inflation, PPI annualized up, to 7.4 in 1 year. Despite all those interest rate spikes with Jerry Powell, they have not worked. That's why you need to get all these credible stimulus checks. So let's go over these big stimulus checks right now. $300,000 of federal stimulus checks for the federal government. You qualify. The federal government is Congress. The federal government is the White House. They were passed in March. You're not going to hear them anywhere else except on LA, because I do a lot of research to find you these stimulus checks. And you qualify. Single individual, 75,000 less. Married couple, 150,000 less. Go get them. It's that straightforward. How do you get them? You become a member under this video, join the channel, get the membership newsletter, and go right in and apply. Check A, B, C, then E through K, and then L and Q. Get these incredible checks across the board. What's important to understand is that these big checks have been law since the month of March, and you don't want to wait to get these credible checks. And there's Cynthia Nelson. Hey, Cynthia, how you doing? Say hello to Ionis and Gail, who are also in the live chat as well tonight. And there's Gail giving a big hello to Cynthia. So let's jump into the core components of today's breaking news of that PPI. When you exclude food and energy, core PPI was up 0.4% against the 0.2% estimate, so that's higher than expected. And core PPI was up 6.2% compared to the 6.6% in the month of October. So it's going up. It's not going up as much as a year ago, but it's still going up. And even a year later, it hasn't improved that much. Here's some of the analysis. Let's see if we agree with the analysis or disagree. Jump in the live chat. Right, agree or disagree? I haven't even read the quotes, so I'm going to tell you my opinion as soon as I read it. Jeffrey Roach, chief economist at LPL Financial. The monthly increase in the producer price illustrates the need for continued tightening at a slower pace. Well, I agree. It does require more Federal Reserve action, and I do agree that it shows that inflation is still going up month to month. The inflation pipeline is clearing, and the consumer prices will slowly move closer to the Fed's long run target. Well, we hope it does. I mean, that's the purpose of the whole shebang. Let's look at some of the other numbers we got today. Wholesale trade inventories rose 0.5% October, below the 0.8% estimate. Let's look at some other numbers. Services, which is when you hire someone to do something for you, they rose up 0.4 compared to the 0.1 for the prior month. So that's actually higher compared to the prior month. Ouch. Passenger transportation was down. That's interesting. Let's look at some of the other fascinating numbers. Goods. So goods rose zero point 0.1, which is better than October, which was zero point 0.6, but it still shows a 38.1% rise in prices of fresh and dried vegetables. Vegetable inflation. Vegetable inflation. There you go. 38%. Wow, that's why you need to get all these incredible stimulus checks, big stimulus checks. And Americans that are sitting around not doing stimulus are going to be in big trouble because the situation is really changing very quickly. And that financial cliff is 30 days away. The recession is 30 days away. And you don't want to err on caution. You want to get as much stimulus as you can as quickly as possible. Let's jump into the other data that we saw in this new report today as well. Energy costs came down. That's what we expected. They're in for a treat in February. I love that from Ionis. So Ionis just wrote, they're in for a treat. Not you and I, the people who are not doing anything. They're in for a treat in February. They really are. I just think that the ground under some people's feet is going to really shake in January or February or March, and they are going to be really shook and not realize that they have betted the wrong way. I gotta tell you that there's a universe in which people think that government is beholden to them. It's not, and everything has really gone up, and that really sucks, says Gail. Yeah, it really has. I mean, look at the fruits and vegetables in this report today. I mean, it's crazy. Uh, Fresh and dried vegetables are up 38%. It's just crazy. And let's understand the shipping costs are down, the gas is down for the truck drivers. So all the transportation is down. They're just really sticking it to you with fruits and vegetables. Um, and energy costs actually went down 3.3%. The trade index rose zero point 0.7, while transportation fell 1%. There you go. They're just gouging us. They're just gouging us. Transportation was down 1%. Gasoline was down. Energy was down a lot, not just a small percentage, a lot. And these people are really gouging you with crazy runaway prices of 38% compared to the prior month for dried vegetables. And there is Crayola. I mean, just so let's understand. how this is working, and definitely price gouging to make up for their losses. Oh, well said for my eyes. So we all understood this is what happened. People were on lockdown. They couldn't make a living. Came off of lockdown, and it was in the middle of the year in which you came off of lockdown. You want to make up the money that you had lost early in the year, and you loved how much money you were making coming off of that lockdown by raising the prices up. So what they did is they kept on raising them up, and people kept on paying them. And guess what happened? It created like a food chain where one person raises the price, and the next person that buys that product and has to resell it raise the price as well. Gasoline's down, shipping is down, transportation's down, stuff out of China down. Everything is down. Also in today's report, inventories, which is how much merchandise is sitting around, rose in October, but slightly below estimates. So people thought they could just keep on raising prices, and they did, and people paid it. But the problem now is that they're not dropping down the prices. They're keeping those really sky high prices up. And that's sort of the problem with why we have inflation tonight. In another report released minutes ago, the University of Michigan's Index of Consumer Sentiment, which is featured extensively on this channel all the time, came in at 59.1 reading. They were looking for a 56.5. This is and below the 56.8. So that was higher than expected. Consumer sentiment, and I are probably laughing right now. So consumer sentiment actually went up. Consumer sentiment went up a lot in 1 month, from a 56 to a 59. Makes sense? No. Makes sense? No. Because people did not spend. We had that report yesterday on the channel. Chop to you shop. No, shop to you chop. Shop to you chop. That report showed that Goldman Sachs ran the numbers and said November there was no good holiday sales, uh, income numbers. November did not bring good revenue to retail. It does not, and in fact, the revenue numbers that came in for the month of November during Black Friday were lower than the month of October during Halloween. So that's not good, and that's why they're saying, guess what? When you see the fourth quarter earnings, ooh, um, and there is I Shirley Parker. How are you? Thank you for joining me tonight. So it's important to understand that people really are, whether you're smart or you're informed, you're uninformed, they're running these narratives hoping they can talk things into existence, and it's not working. Number one, as soon as that producer price index numbers were released today, the analysts immediately said they were looking for this to be much lower. I mean, we weren't. We all knew that inflation was higher. Number two, when the Goldman Sachs report came out yesterday, said those Black Friday earnings numbers are horrible. The retailers did not deliver good revenue in during Black Friday. Oh my God, you're hiding your hair. She's Sue. Yeah, I am hiding my hair. Don't wear that. Um, there's a lot of people who are trying to talk a false facts into existence, and boy, it is very dangerous. The false facts they're trying to talk you into existence are that inflation has peaked. It has not peaked. That the Federal Reserve is going to stop raising rates. Not going to stop. That the uh, that the revenue numbers are really good now as we're going into December. They're not really good. And so, where is the good data in here? There's not any particularly good data when you look at it and annualize. If you're looking at it monthly and say, hey, it's a little bit improved, then so be it. That's why you have to get all these incredible stimulus checks. Now, it's important to understand for stimulus that you really need to do everything you can do to get the stimulus right now. People who are playing with time are really, really rolling the dice. They're playing with time and they're rolling the dice. And it is uh it is times like this Angie Sue's laughing there. Rolling the dice, and the dice does not roll because it's square. Rolling the dice, and the dice. It is dangerous. It is dangerous as you cannot imagine. It has been a year, 2022, in which people ran dangerous narratives for financial elements, and they really got their feet smashed. They ran their fake narrative that cryptocurrency was going to make them a billionaire by December. It didn't. It took them to the poorhouse. They ran these fake narratives that inflation was going to come down. It did not. That the Federal Reserve was going to stop. That they did not. That recession was not happening. They did. And that the earnings were going to be great during the holiday season. They're not. They did not deliver good, strong earnings. So people just trying fake narratives, and I try not to gamble. Absolutely, Gail. I mean, that is what I teach on this channel, is that you do not want to gamble with your money. You worked hard for your money. You deserve your money, and you should not gamble your money. And what's important to understand is you gotta prepare ahead of time. You really, really, really have to prepare ahead of time. I'm going to use an example which I've mentioned before on the channel, but I think it's a great example. I was covering EIDL loans and EIDL grants. They had been around. There was a first round. First round just took a long time to get paid. Some people got paid, some people did not get paid. Now, what happened after that was Javita Carranza, the patron saint of Javita Lake, appeared on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. She said, we're going to reopen the EIDL grant for $5,000 or $10,000 in the near future. And we don't know how much money we have, but we'll do it again. Okay. You hear that, you should immediately be preparing to pounce as soon as she opens it up. When she gives you the warning she's going to do it, you should immediately pounce. Now, there's two ways to approach. There's actually three ways to approach this. One is someone who's not even listening to her in the first place. That's not good. That's sort of like someone not listening to me. Number two, she says, we're going to open it up so you can get $5,000 or $10,000. I'm not telling you when, but pretty soon. That's sort of like me saying to you, go get stimulus checks. And you and I and Ionis and Gail and Shirley Parker, we don't know definitively what day the real heart of the economy starts. Is it February, is it March? But we all say, get it right now. Well, Javita Carranza says, I'm reopening and you're going to get $5,000, $10,000, but I'm not sure when I'm going to reopen. Well, this is what happened. She reopened on a Monday. People were, out skydiving. They were out at the casino with Sissy Ann. Uh, they were, they were somewhere. And what happened was Tuesday morning, they said, oh, it reopened on Monday. I was just busy. I was, I was having fun. I was playing video games. Well, they thought, and I got to tell you, this is a very important story for this situation. They thought that they should have the same right to apply for the checks on Tuesday, as the people who applied the day before on Monday. A lot of people think that there's like a fundamental civil rights, constitutional right to have equal access to stimulus at the same time as everyone else. Uh-uh, wrong. You wait around, you go have fun on Monday, and and you show up on Tuesday. Well, guess what happens? The people who applied on Monday got paid on Tuesday. They only got paid in 24 hours. The people who waited till Tuesday and applied early on Tuesday morning, they got paid on Thursday. If you waited till late Tuesday, you never got paid. The money was gone by late Tuesday. Now, people that just roll the dice with this stuff is just, come on, don't do that. So you need to get all these double checks. What we're going to be covering tomorrow on this channel, I'll be with you. I will be with you all day long with brand new shows, is we're going to be dealing with next week. We got the PPI, the CPI is next, and Jerome Powell. CPI is the 12th or the 13th. I think it's the 13th. And Jerome Powell is the 14th. They got paid on the second Tuesday of next week. And then Queen of Forte, how are you? Um, the the details of next week are going to be critical because that double whammy is really, really the starting of what we all know is going to be the stimulus stampede. Stimulus stampede February is going to be teed off by a series of events. First, that CPI to end December is a critical CPI because it's the last one of the year. It culminates this entire run of the last year of inflation. It's going to show that inflation is not much lower than 8%. It's still in the 7 range somewhere across the board. Number two, we're going to have the Federal Reserve come in and say, we have a long way to go on this, 2 years. People are going to be very upset. And number three, what's going to happen in those last weeks of December going into January, and certainly in January, is we're going to start fourth quarter earnings. Folks, fourth quarter earnings is where the financial implosion starts to happen. Businesses are going to look and see how much money they made through December 31st of 2022. And by January, they're going to tell you, we did not make that much money. We tried to discount stuff. People did not come to the stores. We did not sell. So we're laying some of you off. And a lot of you have to find other jobs. Oh, I'm sorry, there's no other jobs. Well, that's what's going to happen starting in January. When remember what I've always taught you is there's a series of data points you always want to put first. You want to put the labor, you want to put the inflation, the recession, and you want to put the corporate earnings. Why do I put corporate earnings? Because corporation earnings are the indication of what's going to happen with your town. If corporations that are in your town, like Target or Walmart or Marshalls, suddenly say, "Hey, we did not make money," that means that all those people that work in those stores need to get very, very nervous very quickly. They're going to lose their jobs. And guess what happens when you lose your job? There may not be a replacement job. So that's going to happen as soon as those corporate earnings start coming in early January. Very, very critical. So, I mean, now, how about you and I? I mean, that was a lot of deep stuff there. I know it's 8 o'clock. That was a lot of deep stuff in there. Last night, I think it was last night, when I went live, someone said, "Why am I tuning in to hear about cheese? Why are you covering cheese?" And talking about cheese, someone in the live chat last night said, "Why am I part of this community to hear about cheese?" Because guess what? Come January, there's going to be a lot of sadness for people. And with sadness comes information. With sadness comes happiness. With sadness becomes comforting other people. With sadness comes community and family and loving one another. And so while some people are late to the show, we still love them. So please understand that as much as I will be covering your stimulus in January, I'm also going to be covering your humor. I'm also going to be covering your comforting because a lot of people are going to need a lot of motivation. That's how this channel worked on day one. Pandemic hit, and a lot of people were unhappy, sad. And I can't just say stimulus, 500 times in a 45-minute video. I can't say stimulus 500 times in a 45-minute video. I need to cover more information with you. And then I also have to have fun with you. We have to have a delightful time because it may be a good environment for the financial economy right now for you, but by February, it's going to be totally different. So I have to ramp up everything for the information, the stimulus, and also the fun. There's a lot coming to this channel in just a short period of time. Cheesecake, yes, we need fun too. Oh, I do have a really good sugar-free cheesecake recipe. Haven't made it in a long, long time because it's so much cheese. I've been told not to cover cheese on this channel. I don't know. I think the person who said do not cover cheese, um, was right because a lot of people are lactose intolerant. Do not cover cheese because some people are lactose intolerant. Do not cover meat because a lot of viewers are vegetarians. Do not cover, lobster shorts because some people are free willing. They're pro fish. They're pro fish. How dare you put lobsters on shorts or shorts on lobsters? Or are the shorts on the lobsters are the lobsters on the shorts? I mean, that's how we rock and roll. Whiskey walnut pie. That sounds amazing. Whiskey walnut pie, and then Crayola says sushi on top of that. I don't know if I want sushi with whiskey walnut pie. I just, you start with you first eat the sushi, and then you have the whiskey walnut pie. That's a lot to say. I'm visualizing I eat the sushi, then I shoot the whiskey, then I eat the whiskey with the walnut and the pie, or is the whiskey walnut in the pie? Uh, that's a lot to eat. Sushi, whiskey, walnut, cheesecake for Anne, and pie. This is we're needing Chef Roberto in this live chat within like 3 seconds. Let's try to see if he's around and he will jump in here and say whiskey walnut pie. I have a delicious pie recipe for you, LA. Rum cake with whipped cream. Oh, rum cake is very delicious. I want my case of Patron. Crayola just wants Patron. Crayola, which Patron do you like? Which Patron do you like? That's funny because I was thinking of having some. Can I say that? I think I can say it. I was thinking of having some tequila earlier, but I don't think I have the. Oh wait, I do have some pineapple wedges. Canned pineapple is very cheap lately. Did they not get the message? It's supposed to go up with all the other price gouging. I don't know what happened. I don't know where Ionis is. Maybe he's in live chat. Maybe he can tell us why the price of pineapple has gone down. I have no idea. It was very funny yesterday. Yesterday, Bob Bacon was in the live chat and he said, "LALATE, is there Brussels sprout inflation?" And I said, "No." When I was at the market on Tuesday, every single darn vegetable was up a lot compared to the prior week. I mean, a lot, and I'm in a discounted market. The only thing that was reasonably priced, Brussels sprouts. So I think Brussels sprouts are made in a greenhouse here in Los Angeles. I think that's why Brussels sprouts are cheaper. Sausage, cheese, and Brighton crackers with a nice glass of Dom, says Cynthia. That sounds wonderful. And Sue says, and I know, right? Grow your own garden. Is there a Patron garden? Crayola says, grow your own garden. Is there a Patron garden to just put how much watering you have to do to grow Patron from the ground? I just doesn't grow. There's just a lot of inventiveness on this channel because that is what JPal does to us. When prices go up, we just grow everything. When prices just grow up, we grow everything. We grow Patron from the ground up. We just throw the Patron seed to the ground, and we just water it, and we have Patron. We do our own homegrown Patron in the ground. And then viewers are going to be tuning in and say, "Hey, like, can you send me the recipe to grow Patron?" They will literally send me messages. Where's the J-Pow pinata? Oh, that's a really good idea. I see enough pinatas on a daily basis. And there's a place, where was it? I'm trying to think. I think it was next to the Los Angeles River. Was it next to the, God, it's been so many years. I remember there was a place I drove by and all they had were pinatas. I think it was near the Los Angeles River. Now there was one near Sandy Alley, but that's totally different. Yeah, I think it was. God, this is ages ago. And what was? Oh, it's sort of east of the Men's Central Jail. Any correlation to that? I do not know. The pinatas were near the Men's Central Jail in Los Angeles. I mean, if you want to find great stuff, it's always near the jail. If you want to find anything that you're missing for your decorations, it's always near the jail. You learn a little bit. I'll bring the bats. See, I don't think I could smash things on camera. I don't think that's allowed. But I can talk about, pinatas near a jail. I mean, that's totally allowed. I mean, it's true. They're near the jail. Now, the question is whether they're still there. I mean, I'm trying to really stretch my memory. This is many, 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 many years ago. This is so long ago. This is when I did not even know what the street was. Now I know the street quite well. Hey, Bob Bacon, we were just talking about you. We were talking about jail and pinatas. No, actually, we were talking about Brussels sprouts. A guy sailed a giant inflatable pink flamingo down the LA River. That is crazy. My ears were burning. Um, we were talking. I mentioned Bob when you had asked me yesterday. I think it was Bob. Um, Inflation for Brussels sprouts. I said no. That's the only thing I'm buying because it's the only thing that's reasonably priced. And Brussels sprouts have not gone up in price, which is amazing. And I think the reason why is because they're grown in a greenhouse here in Southern California. I think that's the only reason why they have literally not gone up at all in 2 years. Price of Brussels sprouts, which is just wonderful, and they're always in stock. I mean, they're always there. I'm the only one buying them. They're always fresh, and and then when I go to checkout stand, the woman's like, "What code do I put in to type this into the computer? What is this thing you're buying, sir?" I'm like, "It's a Brussels sprout." Oh, really? Is it good? I'm like, "Yeah, it's been around, a couple hundred years. You should." I think the pharaohs started, ages ago. Um, don't you love when people literally have no idea what things are? It's just, what is that thing? It's a Brussels sprout. Brussels sprout. Uh, it, it's so rare. I'm like, no, it's not. You have apples in your Brussels sprouts. That's it. Sushi bells. Sushi bells are ringing. Is that your you must have that on the rewind. You must have that on your iPhone, on your iTunes, Crayola. Sushi bells. It's the it's the Crayola Christmas album out in your local Target. Crayola has a new Christmas album, so please go get it. It's called Sushi Bells. Um, Sushi Bells are ringing, and Bob Bacon's ears were ringing. So it's a very catchy album, and it also has a recipe for growing Patron from the water. It's a lot to cover. Thankfully, I am not covering cheese because I've already been given a warning. Do not cover cheese. You're not allowed to cover cheese on your channel. I don't know why. The person said, just cover stimulus, not cheese. Sushi bells. Yeah, sushi bells. Sushi bells are ringing. Sushi bells are ringing. It's that time it's the time of the year when people are cheer and hearts are glowing because you're blowing lyrics that should be in rhyme, but they are out of time. It's sushi bells are ringing. There you go. I just did all the lyrics for Crayola's new album. That was his new Christmas album. If you missed it, if you missed it, you'll have to download the video and replay it. LA, is that you behind the shades? Who else would make up those crazy lyrics besides LA? Bob's like, who is that behind those shades? It's me. It's me, Bob. Pepper jack cheese. That sounds really good. Hey, Antonio Chavez, how are you? So we have covered Patron, we have covered pinatas, we have covered Christmas albums about sushi. We've covered it all, and of course, stimulus checks, big stimulus checks of $300,000 of 300 different checks, and $3,000 of stimulus checks on a monthly basis. About five different checks. It's absolutely incredible. Almost as good as Crayola's new Christmas album out in your local stores. I wear my sunglasses at night, says Andrew too. Yeah, I do too. Thank you for watching the three different live shows, in addition to this one, Aaron, which are LA on Channel 1, LA 1, on Channel 2, Stimulus Live, and on Channel 3, Wall Street Live. Thank you for watching them. And numbers were way up in the last few days. So, yeah, sushi bells are ringing. It's a time of the year where everyone is in fear that PayPal's raising rates and you may be out of a date. So get your inflation stimulus check, and we will We will have a full deck, take it to the bank, and we will rank number one across the board. There you go. It has great songs on that beautiful Christmas album. They're just great songs. It's the Crayola Christmas album, a very, very Crayola Christmas. The tree is blue on the cover. That's the cover art on the album. You can't miss it. Muddle blue, of course. Muddle blue. I'm here so they can buy it now. So reach out to Crayola. He will send you an autographed Muddle blue cover album for that sugar-free show. Vegas is a sugar-free show. Yeah, it's a sugar-free show. And Sue says, "You're great." I'm not great. It's the album. It's the album. It's a muddled, not murdered. And William Scroggins, happy Merry Christmas to William Scroggins. How you doing, William? If you just joined us, we covered tequila. We have covered cheese, Christmas albums, uh, with blue trees on the cover, sushi, singing lyrics, and of course, cinema checks. It's what this show's all about. I will wait for the MP3. Yeah, you know Bob. You're ready to get the Napster version. Bob is already. He has a special line to reach out to the person who can download it illegally. Yes, yeah. Crayola needs his residuals from this album, so make sure you really actually buy the real album that Crayola has put out. This brand new Crayola Sushi Christmas, and don't try to illegally download a fake copy of it, Bob. It's just he needs the residual. Crayola Christmas, a very, very Crayola Christmas. Very, with muddle blue and uh, it's just one of those things. Brussels sprouts and canned pineapple too. Dog Traders just joined the live chat as well. Crayola can buy the Frosty Kings as well. Frosty Kings, that sounds wonderful. Happy holidays. We love you in Dallas. I've been working a lot. Hey, Team Angel, how are you? We've had a good show today. We've covered literally everything from stimulus, and then we went another direction when we covered pinatas at a jail. Pinatas at a jail. Then we talked about how to actually grow your own Patron from the ground. How do I put in for the checks? Where do I go? Says Antonio Chavez. So a great question tonight from Antonio. Where do I put in for the checks? Where do I go? So step one, Antonio, is figure out what time zone you're in. So if you are the East Coast, you are Eastern Standard Time. If you're the Midwest, you're Central Standard Time. If you're the West Coast, you're West Coast, you're Pacific Standard Time. That's examples. And so you need to know what that is in comparison to my time zone, which is Pacific. So 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, my time, which on the East Coast is 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And the Midwest is 9 Central Standard Time. So it's important to know the difference of the time zone. The LALATE newsletter is delivered from me to you Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts. So first, you need to make sure you have your alerts set all to on. Step one, you subscribe. Step two, you become a member, which you are. Step three, there's a bell under the channel, so you make sure that bell set to all notifications. If you're getting email notifications from YouTube of a new video live, I just sent a notification on this video saying, hey, I'm live. If you got that notification, that's a YouTube alert from YouTube, not from LALATE, YouTube alert. And you look specifically for the one that is sent out at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So again, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time is 10 o'clock New York time, 9 o'clock Illinois, Missouri time. Then you go down in the membership news. Then you go down that alert to it says view post, click it, and it sends you right into the newsletter. And in that newsletter, there's a check A. Click it and go apply. In the newsletter, there's a check B. Click it and go and apply. In the newsletter, there's a check C. Click it and go and apply. Oh, so sorry. Not for check C. Check C, you pick up the phone and call the 12 places listed in the newsletter. Then E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, and Q, you can click the link and they send you right into the applications as well. So all of them are applications you click and you go into, or it actually tells you the details of it, and then it checks C. That's the only one that you're actually picking up the phone to call and get them. Great question. So thank you everyone for joining me tonight. We covered it all. Maybe I'll remember this specific street with those pinatas by the JR. Have a beautiful evening and join LA Live on the main channel currently playing, or Wall Street Live on channel 3, or Stimulus Live on channel 2. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful evening. See you tomorrow. And stay with LA for more.